Hello, everyone.
I've made a snurch.
Thank you.
Hang me
Thank
in a
you.
snitch, I worship like a snitch in the...
Snurch, snurch, snurch.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell me my search.
Thanks.
I'll tell you my sins so you can snarf in your snife.
Offer me that snitch with death. Good God.
King, we're gonna snurch.
I like the we start recording them, the brain cell immediately flies out the window.
There's only one of them, and by
No one
God,
has.
I'm trying desperately to keep a grasp
Milk
of
has
it.
the one brain cell. He took it from all of us.
Oh gosh. Yeah, we are. God.
We are?
I don't have a brain cell either, apparently. We're good to go. I feel like we are on the way to Snurch presently. Thank you for coming to what is now, as of this moment, the final episode of Tip the Scales. Bye, everyone.
I was so confused. I'm like, wait, are we playing Hunger? What's happening?
Are we redoing it with a different cast? Yeah, we're just taking the Tip the Scales party as they are and porting them into the final boss of Hidden Hunger.
That won't go
as
wrong
it
at
was.
all.
No, it won't go wrong at all. I think...
What were we, level 12 when Victor killed us?
something like that, when he killed you the first time.
Great. The first time, there's only one time.
First time.
I mean, he did get a second TPK on your second party.
Nah.
He did, he did TPK us.
I mean, we lived, though.
We
We
lived.
lived though. And now the spawn of one of those people is just out in the world.
Yeah.
The miracle of life. Anyway.
Oh God, this picks up all of my laugh.
As I was saying, hi, welcome in to Tip the Scales, where we're here to lose our minds progressively over the next short to long period of time, and it'll be great. Today we are down a member for this session. Miss Elia is not going to be able to join us for the most valid reason of all time, Splatoon. I say that dismissively, but honestly, I mean it. Like,
She does Splatoon events, so
yeah,
to be
exactly.
fair.
To be fair, it is genuinely valid, and even if she didn't do Splatoon events, it would still be valid because shit, I've canceled for less. So anyway, yeah, we're good to get rolling in with our show credits and all that goodness. And with that in mind, our map credits for the day and the campaign thus far are all provided by Tom Kartos, who does very good work. He's down in the description. You could Google him also. It's not hard to find him. Our world map is by Cesar Volpe, friend of the show. He's a good kid. Check him out. You can Google him too, or click the link. You'll find him. Music that you should be listening to presently is brought to us by our very own Chloe. Woo! Say hello, Chloe.
Hello, Chloe. Hi, I'm Chloe. I play Lane and make art, and I don't do social media anymore, so you can find me, but I'm not there. You're just screaming into an empty void. But if that's what you wish to do, so be it.
Ain't that a mood?
I like to make music for the campaigns I'm in, because that's how I fill the void in my heart when we're not playing. And I draw. I think I've repeated everything so far, so on to the next parcel, please.
Speaking of repeating things, how's it going, Evie?
Oh, hi. What? Hi, I'm E. I play V. Gay. That's it.
That was amazing.
Speaking of gay,
Yeah.
how's it going, Toto?
Oh, it's me, Toto Hex, the smartest science turtle in your ocean, Oni-chan. Oh gosh, I almost stumbled over my intro there. You can find me places at Hex_Toto on Twitter and Dr. Toto Hex on Twitch.
Been up to anything interesting
And I'm
lately?
playing. I've been just like working hard, teaching kiddos, going to Snurch,
Yep.
Yeah, Snail Church, for those not in the know. And I play Changsway.
Speaking of Snurch. Oh. Yeah. How Connie?
Snail Church. Sorry, it bothers me when the meme does not get completed. Hi, I'm Connie or Con, magical Canadian bat girl VTuber. I don't remember my intro. I've not streamed in it's not been a year yet, but soon. And you can find me on Blue Sky. I'm not going to plug my Twitter anymore. I'm still there, but I'm really only using it as a brain dump at this point. But Blue Sky and Twitch at ConVTube, and I am heavily considering working on some content soon, because for once in my life, my brain is finally starting to cooperate.
Some content?
Maybe.
Content.
I swear to God, everybody comes to that joke independently, and they all think they're the first one to do it.
Oh, I didn't think for a second I was the first one to do it. I'm joining a proud congregation of people making it.
Sorry, you guys gotta get in line behind the rest of my chat.
This is getting too convoluted.
Right, that one's an original. Toto gets to claim that one.
No, Evie said it first.
I hope nobody's too confused.
Never mind, Evie gets to claim it.
We can claim it together.
I don't know how to transition out of this one.
But
Well, let's get moving with the rest of our conclave.
Speaking of moving to the rest of us, hi, it's me, Milk. You know where I am. You're on it. I don't need to explain that any further, but, you know, hopefully you've been enjoying the show so far, and double thumbs up. Thank you for coming along.
You know, I have been enjoying this show so far.
Well, thank you.
Once, unfortunately.
Hmm?
YouTube only lets you thumbs up once, unfortunately.
Oh, well, I'm just gonna have to request
Click
that
it,
everyone
unclick it,
remove
and
their
then click
thumbs
it.
up and
Yeah,
do it a
give
second time.
2 thumbs
Yeah.
up.
You know, everyone watching right now, I know you have an alt. Don't make a new one. Just sign into the other account, come back to the video, give it another thumbs up, then you can log out, come back.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's just you gotta keep consistent. Speaking of keeping consistent, who wants to give the recap in exchange for an extra hero point at the start of a session, so that we can keep consistent?
I totally didn't write one literally after the session last week, so
It sounds like it's you.
sounds like it. All right, I have written my recap in the form of a letter. It is not addressed. Milk doesn't know who it's to yet because I haven't sent the document.
I'll find out through context.
This
Good
party
luck.
keeping the postmasters of Gralia in check.
Oh, good. No, she's keeping them on hand. These are not getting sent anywhere.
Even better, we're keeping them in poverty.
All right. You and I used to talk all the time about what it would be like to pal around with nobility, as you used to say. Would it make you jealous to know I finally did it? Several decades too late. 2 of the young women on Yorns, and then I have spelling because I actually don't know how to spell this man's name. Job off from nobility, it turns out. Old man survived, by the way. Turned into a pill bug. We picked up 2 new young ones, Saki and a curious case of a head in an orb by the name of Shang Sui, and apparently had been tasked with taking Lane to Quran. I can't read my own writing. I spelt in a readable way, I just said it wrong. Shadows. You know I never did well against them, so I admittedly was not conscious when this task was given. It's to take her to her husband, Lord Kalen, as it turns out. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that's a pretty complex situation. Of all the undead we ever crossed, Lane's certainly one of the best preserved. It's not my place to explain her story to you, but remember the blood diamonds? It's messy. Everyone seemed very keen to get their retribution. You know me, I never had a mind for politics, but Even if I had some reservations, I'm certainly in no position to judge anyone for wanting revenge on those that took a loved one from them. I'll not lie. I nearly broke. I can only imagine the relief they felt seeing her again. Guess none of this is what you'd care about, though, is it? She showed herself to me for the first time in a while, the night before we got to the city. Must have been letting myself slip because she got the drop on me. Came to see she'd left me a little gift. Don't know what it is at the time of writing. Seeking out an apothecary or something is top priority. 3 years already. How many more to come? I'm worried I'll die before she decides she's bored of this game. Not signed.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many questions, and I've
That was
enjoyed
so
that
good.
thoroughly.
Good.
That's so good.
Well, go ahead and mark down a bonus hero point, and everyone else can make sure that they're set to 1.
Yeah, I can do it.
What?
Yeah.
I have my pin in my. Oh, not dying.
What?
No.
What is
I have my.
What did you say?
I have my pin in my mouth, so when I was
Yeah.
trying to talk earlier, it was preventing that. And then I accidentally marked like dying instead of my hero point. Or almost marked it.
I have begun to
That's
die.
the opposite of hero point.
Yeah.
Dying.
That is in fact good to bring up because that's something I don't think I've mentioned in a little bit, so it bears reminding. If you are dying, you can spend all of the hero points that you have, regardless of whether you have 1 or you have 3, to stop dying. You can just be
Yeah.
stable.
I don't like dying.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you
Neither
have
does
hero
Lane.
points and you're dying, simply choose to don't.
Man, all those jokes
Sheer
I've kept in
willpower.
for 8 sessions.
But yeah, I'd say that's a pretty comprehensive recap. So, double thumbs up again. Go to your other account, do it twice. I know you have 2 more.
Another hero point, you say?
3 Connie,
Mm.
just for being Connie.
Just for being Connie, now you have a 3rd whole hero point. Stay at 2. If you go up to 3, I take it away.
I wasn't going to.
I stare at your sheet. uh, but yeah, as we left off last time, it was kind of getting a little later in the evening, and you were given the time to rest and to stay for the night. You had discussed the possibility of sometime soon going out and searching for the Diamond Bloods and making good on some bounty work, potentially, in the interest of course, the town, and certainly not the interest of your pockets. But it was discussed of doing that soon. But exact whereabouts are presently a little up in the air. Just know that they're nearby. And assumedly, the group of you split apart to your respective abodes for the evening, and began to rest. Although, if you have any conversations that you're having amongst yourselves during the night, then just let me know. I've moved us up to the other map with us in said rooms presently.
Look at all of us.
Mhm.
Yeah, Lane would like
there's
to
one of
move
us is in fact missing because I didn't know which bedroom to put them in because they are a ball.
Yeah. I feel like it'd be in like the corner of some place somewhere.
Just an
closet.
obscure corner. Yeah.
That in the fireplace.
Not in the fireplace.
No, it's nice and warm.
Mm, Enable.
I'd rather not have the glass crack under the fire, okay?
Well, the fire doesn't have to be on.
Yeah, what if we put you in the embers so it's nice and warm, but it's not like hot
I
I
of
just
course.
meant like on the unlit wood.
Do I not get a say in this? I can get
No.
a shelf somewhere.
Give me
Somewhere out of reach of Fluffy.
It'd be with Arla, so just not
Yeah.
Arla's room.
It's okay, I don't have to be in anyone's room. I can just be in the living spaces. It's not like I need a bed.
Trying to. There we go. Now the camera can see you and where you are.
Yay.
Yay.
Not me trying to zoom out to find everybody.
And I'll put Fluffy down in the appropriate.
Oh, can I have my rat? I mean my bird.
Your rat.
Rat?
Damn. Yeah, you can have your bird.
I do everything to insult this bird
Mhm.
because it's just the relationship I, the player, have with the bird.
Yeah, everyone is in their respective rooms on the map presently, and if there are any conversations and whatnot that happen over nights, obviously feel free to let me know. You're all situated on the second floor of the manor. Saki is in the library, lost in the sauce, and presumably will be for the rest of the session.
Miss just kicking into the door, be like, "I'm here."
What happens when you read a good book?
Yeah. Yeah, no, Lane is definitely is her room like preserved? Is it like the same room that it's been?
It's clearly not the same room, but it is constructed similarly to how it was back in the day.
Back in the day.
Mhm.
Back when before people.
You'd think that there was some chaos in the redecorating process after the town was recaptured, but it is faithful enough to the way that it was when you were alive before. There's a balcony room to your right on the outside, a bit of a rest area, perhaps a place for tea. There's a small fireplace, a nice large bed, and a attached bathroom, which is quite luxurious.
We do love a good bathroom.
We do. V would probably actually go ambling down the hall to try to find Lane's room to talk.
For sure.
The word ambling implies that it didn't go too well until you got there, so I like to imagine you knocked on like 8 different doors.
Every
Yeah.
door.
You probably are like.
That same bathroom from earlier. That same person's still in there.
Mhm.
She's having a rough night.
You're generally aware of where each other are staying, so I'll move you through the house, reveal the map a little, but it's through this main living room, meeting room area, into and near this other door, and Lane's room is just the one just next to you here now.
He knocks on the door.
How long would you say I've been in my room before V came knocking? Either V or Milk can answer this.
This is probably more of an Evie question.
Maybe like a couple hours. Probably
Okay.
would've, thought it over for a while before
Okay.
going over.
All right, so she's had some downtime. She's definitely changed. So you hear like some brief like shuffling for a moment. She's
Okay.
just a moment. Just some like clattering, some drawers opening and closing, and before she comes and answers, and she's like wearing like a night robe that's not like her usual thing, with like a little like sachet kind of tied around her neck. And you can see like kind of in the background Haru's sitting on the desk with like that like cage she kind of always carries around covered up.
Excuse me.
Please, good to see you. Sorry, I was in the midst of change. What can I do for you, dear? Come in. And she'll step aside and let you in to the room.
She walks in. She's just like, I'm sorry, did I catch you at a bad time?
Oh, no, never. Although, always is kind of a bad time recently, but you're not unwelcome at all. It's rather nice to have company here. Kind of weird being, if you're like, getting stuck in the past.
She like shuffles her feet a little and like takes like another little step in, like just to the side of the door where you're not really sure you're supposed to come in all the way, but like just enough that it's not just like awkwardly lingering in the door. And she's just like, I suppose I just wanted to see how you were doing. This has been a lot, I presume.
Yeah. I've not entirely wrapped my head around it, if I'm being entirely honest. I kind of am expecting to like wake up from a dream at some point, and I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know if it's a nightmare or a dream. And she kind of like looks around the room, realizing your awkwardness. Come, would you like some tea? I can get some tea for us.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Of course. And she'll go. I'm assuming, like, knowing Lane, she definitely has like a little kettle already on the fire here. And so she like goes over and she like pours it into this like really pretty like she pulls out a and has to dust it off, a glass teapot that's like, it's got like a petal like shape to it, like the sides are made of petals, and it's got like a kind of almost rainbow-esque look to it when it shifts in the light, and the teacups match. It's very, very, very fancy, even kind of more fancy than this place. And she starts like pouring some tea into it. And you notice when she pours two, she automatically pours like a spirit of an alcohol of some kind into hers, and is about to pour it into yours like almost automatically, and like freezes. Would you like some? Forgive me.
Absolutely. It's been a time.
Perfect. It pours a decent amount in as
Doesn't
well.
even question what it is.
It's like a brownish. I don't know if I said clear. Probably more brownish. More brown liquid would be better.
Coca-Cola.
Or pouring Coke into the tea. This is the Boston Tea
like
Party.
the old nobles used to do.
It's probably like brandy. I feel like brandy goes well with tea. I don't know anything. I've never had brandy.
I feel like that's always what's shown. Yeah.
Yeah. She kind of like chuckles to herself. I've been quite fighting it, but I find myself drawn to alcohol more and more these days. It's a bit dangerous.
She nods like several times, and she's like, considering what you've been through and considering what we've all been through with the gestures to everything, I suppose it's more than fair. Takes a sip.
It's strong.
Makes a face.
I'm so sorry. I've got a heavy pour, and she kind of like hands you the teapot before like puts it closer to you so you can dilute it better before.
Clearly got to make a fortitude save. Clearly.
Okay, we're making fortitude saves. Let's do it.
You don't have
do
to.
it.
You can't.
No, I want to. I want
said
to.
it.
Oh no. How long do I have? I need to stay awake for this conversation.
Let's see. Where is fortitude?
It's on the red bar right below initiative.
Oh my gosh. Oh, there it is.
Okay. Well, a little better than me.
Dilute the tea.
Well, she does as well. Just, I would like to last a little bit longer than this.
It's not like a right away kind of effect, right? Of course, but over the night, and if you drink a little more than you do, the effects do certainly take a hold. On V a little bit less, but still, not quite.
4 hours later, we're streaking through Quran.
Oh my gosh.
You get the bad rolls out early on the
Yeah.
on the
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
rolls. Yeah.
Blaine takes a sip of her tea as well. Also makes a face. Sorry. That's a heavy. I think that's more brandy than tea. How are you holding up?
Well, I mean, the drink is quite strong, but oh, you mean about the gestures?
Yes.
Well, I suppose that everything is a bit a lot lately. I wasn't exactly expecting to get pulled into all of this, but I suppose I'm holding up okay. I mean, all things considered.
I'm glad to hear it. I owe everyone an apology, and I never meant to deceive anyone. It's just, how do you open with that or ever bring it up? I had actually always intended to stay away from here and everybody I loved out of fear of them finding out I was alive and then me promptly dying again from all this zombie business.
She just
Or
kind of
whatever.
shrugs a little bit, and she's just like, "Your secrets are yours to keep as long as they don't, I suppose, involve directly hurting any of us. You're not entitled to share your own close to your chest business. You
I
didn't deceive
suppose.
us."
I suppose so. Still, I like when we're in a situation like this where we're constantly depending on each other, some amount of openness is warranted, but you're not wrong. If it's a
Suppose
secret,
that's
not
fair.
harmful secret, it's fine.
She nods like she's like thinking deeply about it and takes like a sip of the tea.
Brand tea.
That
Hmm.
sounds like a bad white girl name.
It does.
Um, how, if you don't mind me asking, how exactly did the two of you end up married? I believe you said it was arranged, but if that's
Well,
all right to ask.
no, that's actually not the question I was expecting. Well, where do I start? It's a bit of a long story. Do you know where? God forbid I'm saying this right. Wrong. Asmund. Am I Asmund? Asmond. My home.
Asmon, yes.
Okay. Do you know where Asmond is?
No D.
Would I?
Yeah, common knowledge, especially for Grellian nobility who knows, a tiny bit about geography. It is the country most directly to the south. It's very small. It is primarily elven. They don't really take a lot of visitors in, so all that the average noble or average person, for that matter, would know is that we're very, very fancy over there, very uptight.
She nods a little bit into her tea and she's like, I do believe I know that. She kind of looks down at the teapot and she's like, did this come from there? It feels a bit, a different style, I suppose.
Yes, it did. It was one of my items from home that I brought with me when I got married. I'm from there originally. I wasn't nobility or anything there, although the oh, this is going to sound so pompous. The quality of everything in life there is much higher at the cost of, constantly having a stick up your ass, as Hemia would say. So I was a dancer there for many, many years. I took after my mothers.
Lesbians?
Lesbians.
Every time that's
And
brought up, you just bust into old
I'm so
lady.
sorry.
Lesbians! Harold, lesbians!
girl got two mamas. Oh. That's my old lady voice. It's a very serious conversation. Evie and I can't do anything seriously. See, I never intended to marry originally. I, especially at my age, it's kind of, I was young and a bit taboo. I wanted to figure myself out first, and I wanted to, have a career and enjoy my hobbies and life alone. But my mothers had, they wanted to open up a studio of their own after they kind of retired from performing. And they fell into some shady business dealings. And the amount of gold that flows through Asmund is high. Even with my salary, I couldn't help them. And I was terrified for them to fall into depravity or whatever else had these people had in mind for them after taking advantage of them. So I originally was going to quit dancing and find something else. Probably might have ended up doing the same thing I'm doing now, possibly, but I wasn't cut out for it. And then it just so happened on one of my last performances, Lord Kalen had come to visit and spotted me and was looking for a wife for appearances. See, I'm sure you know nobility being married is rather important for many, many reasons. And he had sent a letter to me. I had received many letters of proposals and such, and I had never taken up a single one of them, but I was desperate, and something in my head told me I should. And it worked out, because Lord Kalen wasn't looking for romance or just some pretty little wife to hang around in his manor. He was looking for a companion, and also is abhorrently avoiding any kind of romantic relationship. He's not really into that sort of thing. And never has been, never will be, but the pressures of nobility don't always forgive that. So it worked out. I wouldn't have to actually be a wife. I would only have to play the role in public. And I ended up getting a friend, and the dowry was enough to help my mothers escape the situation they were in. And that's how I ended up here.
She is clearly taking this all in, just resting her chin on the knuckles of one of her hands, just staring, just rapidly in the story. And she's just if you don't mind me prying a little bit more, you said you said that he wasn't looking for a romantic partner. Do you mind me asking if you?
Looking for a romantic partner. At the time, no. Dying has changed some things about me, but she kind of turns a bit red. You know, since I was young, I would read stories about, princes and princesses, or princes and princesses, or princes and princes. It doesn't really matter, but I never was drawn to men too much.
Respect.
So I'm not entirely sure if, I wasn't. It wasn't something ever I would have been interested in with Kaylin either, other than our close friendship. If that answers your question.
She nods a little bit and is clearly has that look in her eye of just I getcha. And she's no, I absolutely understand. No, that makes sense. I suppose I was just curious. My brain stopped. Hold on. My brain stuttered to a halt. I don't know. She sips more tea.
I just had the image in my head of that one fucking TikTok of just witch.
Yeah. Just reading the chat. Sorry. But yeah, she sips a little bit more tea, and she's I do understand the pressures of marriage and nobility and all of that. I can understand how you weren't in it to fall in love, and you didn't wish to, and perhaps wanted something different than what you ended up with, I suppose.
Perhaps I didn't mind my life here, actually. I liked it a lot more than Asmund. It's very uptight there, and I kind of always struggled with it. So I liked it here a lot. There was a lot more freedom and ability to breathe, despite the fact that I had raised in status. I was quite funny. And I had friends here, and, it was a comfortable life. I don't regret it at all. I don't think I'd redo it. The dying part, maybe, but...
Oh, well, that, yes. I suppose you're lucky ending up with somebody so respectful of you're you. And I believe I heard him mention the dance studio. Did he did he make one for you, or you had one here, or?
He did. It was very flattering. It was an old, ballroom and kind of turned into a. It got divided up into a kind of entertainment room and a little studio for me where I spent a good amount of time there. Most of my days. It was hard to adjust at first, admittedly. I didn't want to be here at first. So I spent quite a lot of time in there and it really helped. Therapy, I suppose.
That sounds wonderful. He said that it was restored, yes? Did it get destroyed with the gestures?
See, your guess is as good as mine because aside from everything we heard just a few hours ago, I don't know what happened. I need to talk with him, but I wanted to give him some space, some time to rest. I, died, so I don't know what became of the manor. I had it in my head that all was well, in that I was the only casualty and that the insurgents were pushed back and Lord Kalen was safe and sound. So I was quite shocked to hear he'd been captured and all of Karan. I'm assuming much of the manor befell into ruin and some such as a result. So I don't know. I'm glad they restored a lot of everything. It's kind of silly. I was dead up until, for them, a mere hours ago. I don't know why they would. Oh, I'm lying there. I do know why they would. But it's sweet.
It is sweet. A memorial, perhaps, or just a symbolic, meaningful. They care for you.
Yes. Which makes all this all the more painful, if I'm being honest.
That is also fair.
You never, well, you never had to, but when we were walking, I had asked, I must ask again, what led to you ending up here? Veronica? I assume you don't like that name.
She kind of waves a hand, and she's like, "I don't particularly go by it. I don't mind. I just it feels more like what I was given and not what I chose." Yes. She leans back in her chair a little bit, like you do, and you're avoiding conversation. And she's like, "I suppose I just sort of ran away from home, drowns in tea."
I feel like I recall some sort of conversation earlier about that with Hilda, but maybe I'm mistaken. You don't have to tell me why. I can guess. You don't seem like the type to enjoy the noble bindings that come with the lifestyle.
No, I don't mind a bit of luxury now and then, but don't tell anybody. I just wanted freedom. Something different than a plan.
Fair. You've got it. How is it treating you, this freedom?
A bit like a quest to stop an undead plague.
And apparently kill a bunch of diamond bloods.
I suppose it's only right to, pay them back.
Confused, or not confused, but conflicted. That's the word.
Confused.
I don't know anything about them, if I'm being honest. Again, I had heard stirrings, I think, before. And when we got attacked, I didn't even think of them. I thought, oh no, have the townspeople risen up? Did we do something wrong? Is this bandits? Bandits.
When you said, "Oh
Bandits.
no," just killed me. I'm sorry. And I was like, "Oh no."
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, is it bandits?
Oh, buy my
German?
pearls.
The bandits.
The bandits.
Ho, ho.
All the accents. I'm just smashing every single European accent into Lane. Yeah, so she kind of like sinks into her chair a little bit before like almost instinctually like sitting back up and straightening her back. So I'm conflicted because I don't know anything about these people, and I don't know if they're ill or good or a mix of. All I know is that someone killed me. It was quite personal. You would think I slapped this man's mother with the way I was treated, but well, I suppose that's what you do when you are taking over a city and doing away with the nobility. And so I only really. The person who killed me is probably really old or dead. And that sucks, because I'll admit, while I am, for the most part, not fond of killing people, I would. She drinks really heavily for a moment. Would be lying if I didn't say I wanted to at least show up and scare the life out of him, or, do what he did to me. But I don't think I'll ever get that revenge. In a weird way, it feels like I'm passing it on to these other people. And I don't know anything about them, and I don't know if they deserve it, but they probably do because of what they did and what they've been doing. I'd like to know more. I'd like to know more about all of this. Why I'm here, why I'm being sent on these missions by a godforsaken bird and a mysterious star. Why I'm suddenly alive after 30 years. Even though apparently I sat and rotted on a floor for who knows how long.
He raises an eyebrow at the bird and the star bit because I don't think she knew that. Other than like what was told to. I don't know why I almost called him DJ Kaylin. I meant Kaylin.
What the fuck?
Like,
DJ Kaylin.
Let's just give me just a second. Behold, here he is, DJ
Oh, no.
Khaled himself.
Oh no. Screams.
Yep, that's him.
I can't believe you've done this.
Look at this fucking nerd.
Oh my gosh.
For the others' benefit. Hang on.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Gonna get dragged around in every room.
Oh my god!
DJ Caitlin jump scare.
This fucking nerdlinger.
Oh my goodness.
This poor man. He's a good man. Leave him be.
You can be a good man and
Leave this
and a
asexual
blood.
alone.
You can be a good man and a fucking nerdlinger at the same time. It's always been allowed.
Oh.
What was the question?
Something about revenge, I think.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that right.
Yeah. V like takes I guess probably just finishes off her tea. I don't expect the teacups are this big.
No, they're both empty. Lane pours more, but it's just tea.
Oh my gosh. I suppose that would be a good goal for what we are about to do. Yes, we could research, figure out what their plan maybe was and is, and if they deserve a revenge. I suppose the people of the past might, or at least might deserve something. I suppose. I would like to find out more about the situation. They seemed fairly nice when they let us pass by earlier, but clearly not 30 years ago.
Who knows? I mean, maybe in their head they were doing the right thing. I'm adopting your accent. Hold on, I've got a shift. There we go. All right, it's better. It's back. And maybe they thought they were liberating the world of some evil. Misguided by something, but I am the one having to live with the memories. I suppose nobody was expecting that, though.
I suppose, trauma aside, it might be, well, it is a good thing, in my opinion at least, that you came back, because now we have a friend and a purpose. Question mark?
Say a purpose we've all been kind of shoved into via tapestries and birds and townspeople who are really upset with us at one time.
Oh yeah, that was something. Deep
I still
regret.
yeah, they both steep in regret. 'Cause now they're the only. No, was Arla there? No, it was Ollie. Crap, they're the only two.
Oh no.
I get to just sit together with this regret.
We should have killed those things.
She kind of glances over at Haro. What's that little shit doing right now?
He is just kind of sat near the window, as he often is at night, gazing into the sky.
Nerd.
Nerd.
I was gonna say something in character, but I forgot. Give me a moment. Oh no, it slipped away.
Lena's saying this.
Fuck. Lane's kind of like doing that thing where you kind of like. Let me see the angle here. No, he's good. He's in line of sight with her. She doesn't have to like bend in her chair too much. You know, when we'd gotten back, and there was that moment where Kaylin was asking if I'd stay. I knew that this would happen, that everyone would ask if I could stay, and that I would probably have to say no, and of course he had something to say about it, and she kind of motions to the bird.
Slowly turns his head towards you.
Oh my god, that's creepy.
Why does he do that?
I don't know why he does anything that he does. What?
Relatable.
What bird?
Wah.
What?
Goes back to staring at the starlit sky.
I don't think he sleeps.
No, I. Do you think that there's a real bird?
I don't think he's a real bird, do I?
Do you think he is a real bird?
What would I have to roll to think if he's a real bird?
He's a
Or
government
not.
drone.
I mean,
But all birds are, though.
Oh, of course, yeah.
just give me a moment here. Mm-mm. Yeah,
I want to be a real bird.
you want to be a real bird.
I want to be a cowboy,
Yeah,
baby.
baby.
Looking at Haro and thinking back a lot, you know for certain that Haro, of course, is a familiar, right? He's your little magic buddy who you can conjure forth. But tracing like your knowledge of him, of just biology in general, of magic, he is certainly a living creature of flesh and bone and blood. You've felt his tiny little heartbeat.
Why does this fucker get a heartbeat and I don't? I think he's real. Like, if I were to throw a book at him, he'd probably go splat, you know?
What?
You know I would never.
The thing you decided to say. She looks aghast.
Sorry. He's.
Peck, peck, peck.
Don't throw a book at your friend.
She just takes it. Snails. Yeah. How do I explain this? He's kind of been the one dragging me on all these adventures. Most unwillingly on my part, but I'm always scared that if I disobey, I'll end up back in the grave. So, he's real in his own way. I think he was created for me by my patron, who I know almost nothing about.
Interesting. She nods and like looks over at him fearfully. So not a real bird, but the real Something. Critical eye. Just interesting.
Indeed. Gave me quite the fright when I woke up. Originally. But now I'm getting used to his antics. He seems to enjoy them. They're not unwelcome. Although you'll never catch me letting him hear that. She's whispering this. I just can't whisper because it would be really weird.
Asmer.
ASMR.
Hi, welcome away.
No.
I'm so
That'd be
sorry.
ASMR voice. Hey, I like
Yeah.
Yeah.
my video.
She takes,
Like and
she takes
subscribe.
another sip of tea, sets it down, pours more alcohol into the bottle. Not much, but just a bit. Well, at least we have a few days to rest. Given everything.
Yes, it might be nice to just have a bit of peace, I suppose. Calm and
Indeed.
storm and all that.
She kind of like scratches under the scarf. Yeah. No, I think I'll enjoy it. And then I'll be really sad to leave, and it'll be awful, and then I'm gonna have to go back to killing brigands and zombies.
Well, that is always what they say about the calm and the storm. Yes, it's right in the middle, and then you go back out the other side, and the other side happens to be the storm.
Yeah, that made perfect sense to me. Well, unless there's anything else, I'll not keep you up too much longer.
No, I suppose that is all for now. Well, Lobster dies and does the southern whelp gets up.
The southern whelp. Yeah.
You know? And she's like, thank you for talking with me. This was nice, helpful. All of those, I suppose.
I appreciate it as well. I appreciate it as well. And you're welcome in my chambers every time, platonically.
She
And I
just
hope
like,
you
oh
sleep
yes.
well. Nope,
You-
goodbye.
Bye. Shoves her out the door.
Closes the door.
Gone.
I love it.
He's definitely sitting there like doing that thing where she like bonks her head on the door like, oh my god,
Social interaction failed.
I can't talk to save my life. And she'll kind of walk over to Haro and like pick at some fucking like pin feathers.
Mm.
Um,
Kind of leans into it.
Aw.
is this what you intended? Or me going back eventually, or are you as surprised as I am?
Being here is good, but not for long. I don't know if I intended it, but here we are.
She kind of gives him a blank look. It's just more like kind of searching in herself more than anything. I don't know how I feel. Well, I suppose it's fine for now. If I had to leave, I think I would have preferred not to come back at all, but at least they know. I'd prefer it's not spread to anyone else. You know, given all that we're going through.
I do not trust them much, as you know.
Them?
Your companions.
Ah.
But them knowing of things, it feels like it will aid us.
Kind of reaches up and like unties the scarf. Suppose. Well, every day I gain more questions about you and your patron and what we're doing, and every day more questions go unanswered. But as usual, I will take it in stride. She'll kind of look up. Is he still looking up at the fickin' stars?
He's kind of
Oh, he's talking.
shifted to look up at you while you were talking, but then as you go to kind of look at the stars, he reshifts his gaze. Were that I knew.
Oh.
Would
Do I
that
see anything? Oh, sorry.
there is a
Pausing for too long.
brief little red glint in the sky. And you get the feeling that's where Haru's looking as well.
Okay.
And just kind of... Would that I knew, I would be sure to tell you.
I know. I appreciate that.
I'm communing with it. We're trying to.
I've never met another witch or anyone like me. Do their patrons normally have this much? Do the familiars normally have this much trouble communing with their patrons?
All I know is that we are the vessel by which magic is brought to you. It teaches me. I teach you.
I see.
I don't know if others like me are able to speak more with it, with others.
Very well.
I imagine if they could, that would be nice.
I think it would too. I often forget you're just as lost as I am.
Flutters up and lands like kind of forcefully in your arms.
Aw.
She seems like so confused. Like you know the boyfriends who say they didn't want the cat but now are loving the cat. Like the little starting threads of that. She'll just kind of like smile and walk over to the bed and like sit down and place him on a pillow or something.
I see that V went downstairs and it moved my camera.
Can't get out.
You just go back on the stairs.
Thank you. I couldn't find my token. It went away.
But yeah.
Well,
as we shift from this scene, perhaps to another time of the night, perhaps earlier. I assume V goes back to bed.
Yeah.
After this, yeah. I'll.
drunken stupid.
Thank you.
We see another scene in the night here. Probably a little earlier on, I should think, before V kind of left to have their chat. What is Arla doing presently?
Well, I think before heading to like a room, she would have asked about like an apothecary or something in the area with the intention of going in the morning.
Yeah. You would have been given a shop name called the Acrid Bubble.
Acrid Bubble, got it. Okay. But she would probably honestly be mostly kind of just sitting on the bed. Probably would have pulled the little potion bottle, the gold liquid from the bag, and honestly just kind of looking at it, glaring at it a little bit.
As you're kind of glaring in at this golden vial of liquid, this glimmering thing, this kind of same feeling emerges that you want to drink it. Nothing overpowering, of course, and there's a knock at your door.
Arla's gonna put it in her bag and then get up and go answer the door.
As the door kind of pulls open, you see O'Hara stood on the other side. They're like, sorry, I don't particularly mean to intrude, but I had some things I wanted to discuss, ask about. You seem like a bit of an expert, and some of them relate to you, I think.
All right, anytime. And she'll just go over and just sit on the bed. Just sit on the edge of the bed.
They all kind of step in and sit on this couch you've got in here. As we're... I should be able to... there we go, that's the right one. Zoom us over. I'm just like... So, what do you make of this whole situation?
The whole Lane and being dead and all that, or
That and the revolutionaries and all of that.
I don't know if I have a feeling strongly either way about the revolutionaries, but I've seen what happens after wars, after revolutions. It's never as pretty as idealists hope it will be. But I don't know. As somebody who's never I'm not exactly up on politics and everything like that. But I do think that there are sometimes things that are worth fighting for.
I tend to agree. I'm from up north. It's where their base is. So I guess I have a bit of a complicated opinion on things. Their leader before he died, he was a good man, I think. He always treated us well, at least in the city. Any case, that's not what I'm really here to talk about. I'm more here for magic chat, information, and I suppose I should really go to Lane about this one first, but you know how I'm sure you've noticed how I can be a little lighthearted. Or that's not the right word. Faint of heart? There we go.
I wouldn't have said that specifically.
Speaking of hearts, have you seen hers?
Arla's going to narrow her eyes.
When the fuck did you? I keep that shit under a cloth.
Lane's or...
Kind of nods.
I actually genuinely don't think that Arla has.
No.
I don't remember. No, I haven't.
I guess I'm a little more attuned to these kinds of things than others are. But the birdcage.
As in that is, or
or at least there's one in there. I presume it's hers.
I honestly really hope so, but Arla remembers she picked up a hand and is not going to say anything else.
Have you ever seen anything like that before?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. Would I have?
Let's see. Do. Recall knowledge. I click button.
Oh, you click button.
Secret checks. As you kind of think, it's nothing you've seen before, but certainly in your study of all things esoteric and occultism besides, you are quite experienced. And of course there's creatures around that can survive fine without various body parts and whatnot. Nothing's coming to your mind that would allow an elf to survive with their heart outside of their body. And as either of you have been able to tell, Lane is not undead, merely not dead.
I can't say I've seen anything that would explain Lane, unless it happens to be that she is very, very good at disguising herself in some form or other, but it seems unlikely, if only because I think if you were able to do that, you would at the very least feign having a heart, I guess.
Right. Well, I suppose that's a conversation for myself and her then. Just pretend you didn't, you know.
Should do the like zip the lips, lock, throw away the key emotion.
One last thing, and I hope again. I hope I'm not intruding. Who was she? And what did she leave?
If you're asking me about Lane, you have to understand I really don't know anything about this woman.
No, last night. I'm a light sleeper.
She's my problem, and she left because she likes to toy with me. That's all that anyone really needs to know.
Well, you've been of help to us. Oh, just don't try to face it all alone, I suppose.
With luck, I won't. But I am not holding out for luck. It doesn't always come through.
I'm attuned to spiritual matters, not just undead. And I've noticed your eye.
So that's what you're asking.
It's...
You know, I've always preferred it that people just say it out loud if they're going to... If they're going to say these sorts of things. Beating around the bush only makes it feel worse.
Well, that was a fae, wasn't it?
Of some kind.
Okay. I can put the rest together.
You know that this also just happens, right? Like, sometimes children are just born like this.
I know. I'm, well, not the same. I'm not... Kind of looks up. I'm not human either.
I am human. It's the only thing I've ever been.
Something does strike you as odd. Like, O'Hara does seem fully human.
Uh,
I don't mean to imply anything, just I know what it's like to not quite be like your peers. And troubles with either a contract or parentage or what have you.
And I hope you can understand why I would prefer to not get other people involved. With any luck, I walk away from this and I get to just go back to being a regular person.
I hope that that's true. Well, I'll get out of your hair.
Just nods. Not really like, kind of just looking past O'Hara.
Door shutting behind them. Getting to walk back to the room. Hello, Zhang Sui. Goodbye, Zhang Sui. Yeah, we'll just bid a good night. Leaving us, I'm
I
assuming.
have 7,000 questions.
Such as?
What the fuck? Who the fuck? Faye? Undead? Is your eyeball undead or is it Faye? I'm so
That's an eyeball.
My eyeball's an eyeball.
It's 100% Arla's eyeball.
Maybe I'm taking things a little too literally. I don't have the context. I'm just like, wait, is the eyeball undead? Is it Faye? What's happening?
Some can say that it can see things.
Ah.
Yes. Just like the other one can.
And just like yours can. I
Well.
can't believe it.
I can't believe it. Well then. The rest will have to be answered in roleplay. Except I don't know how to bring it up because Lane's not been here for anything. Sorry, sending Haro to spy on people.
Haru's just a little dude.
He's just a little guy.
And yeah, we will go to the next dawn unless there's another conversation that occurs.
I have a huge rager with Shang Sui. We just drink into the night.
Do you just do that by pouring brandy over top of
Yeah,
it?
I just know. I fill the bathtub with brandy and I just dunk her in it.
It's empty by the morning.
Give this woman alcohol poisoning.
It's still jury's out on if the head can eat by some mysterious means or if someone's just feeding the body somewhere. Jury's
right?
out.
Jury's out.
Has yet to
No,
be
nothing
confirmed.
else. for me for the rest of the night.
Then, if there is nothing else, we will rise the next morn. As...
Wait, okay.
Okay.
Can I have a scene, like, not while awake, but while dreaming?
Yeah, nothing against that. What do you
Sure.
have in
Can I
mind?
dream? Can I dream about like what's happening to my torso?
Ooh.
That's a quote.
Yeah, I'll have you roll occultism on that one.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Give me the money.
As you kind of sit and
Is
focus.
this before or after I got drunk, though? Before
Great
or after
question.
Drunken Rager?
This is of course after the drunken rager. But you're an absolute pro at holding your liquor, so you're perhaps even better at this than you'd normally be by exactly a differential of 5%. This is
I
to
don't know.
say,
Do I have a stomach to digest all of this alcohol?
that's
Oh
a great
yeah,
question.
how is the alcohol moving through your blood system?
Yeah, exactly. Or am I even more susceptible to getting drunk because my body mass is literally just a head?
You have so much booze in you, it's horrible. You kind of think and rest and dream and focus on your psychic energies, focus on your body, or try to, and your eyes in your dream kind of shoot open. It's not for long, but you get this feeling of jostling, and you hear the sounds of neighing. There's darkness all around you, and the sounds of hooves on what sounds like stone road, and just, again, noises of jostling. And if you try to move your arms and legs, you are able to move your arms. As you look down in this dark, your eyes adjust and see that your torso is cut off at the waist. And you wake up.
I wake up, drool and leftover alcohol, like, filling the bottom of my glass.
Yep.
And by glass, I mean the crystal ball, and, like, wetting my hair and my neck. And I'm not sure if the dream I saw was real or if it was just another feeling of a nightmare or an actual scene of what is happening to the rest of my body.
But yeah, it's come morning at this stage, presuming that we're all good with the night.
Yeah.
I very quickly shift out of the more intense quizzical music.
Boom, boom.
Had it very quickly for a scene, but and yeah, I'll gather everyone in this little main room that's up here for the morning. Saki's technically here too, but lost in a book. Still in the library, reading away. I haven't slept.
We have just a pile of books around them. They've made like a fucking fortress.
As you you hear the noise of someone approaching. As you all kind of get together in the morning, is there any conversation that happens as you all are all now together again, or?
How'd everyone sleep?
I hope you guys slept well, ladies. I address the noble women, and then kind of eye Fluffy at the corner of my eye.
Just Darla is fine, honestly.
Oh, yes, I hope you slept well too.
She's absolutely smiling at you, being like, yeah, I'm also a lady, very clearly.
I didn't sleep fantastically, but it is what it is.
I kind of ignore O'Hara.
Oh. Justice for O'Hara.
Justice for O'Hara. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. I hope you can get some rest later. I'm not feeling too haggard this morning.
Well, not the worst. Kind of go to pull a seat up, and kind of as you're all kind of getting, ready in the morning, you do hear again these kind of footsteps approach your kind of seating area, and sounds of what you think is part of the staff of the house approaching. And this woman approaches from the nearby stairs. Clearly an elf as well. She kind of walks up wearing maid's attire. Brown hair, very dark brown, pointed ears, and carrying a seems to be a serving tray. So they kind of walk up with certainly a more casual gait than you would expect of the other staff of the manor, as they kind of just stand here in the entrance and kind of look directly towards Lane and just say, "Morning, lady. Care for a drink?"
You all hear what sounds like, at first sounds like the air like escaping out of like a balloon or like a tea kettle.
You'd expect to see on this tray like tea, perhaps coffee. It's just like another bottle of brandy.
Jesus. Yeah. Lane does that shriek girls do when they haven't seen each other in 2 hours. That pasties do, and runs up to Humi at full speed, stops, gently removes the tray from her hands, and just throws her arms over her and gives her the biggest hug.
Kind of like, okay, all right, okay, hello. It's nice to see you.
Hi. It's good to see you. How are you doing? She cups her face and is looking at her, twisting her head around and just examining her. You're not hurt? You're not. I know it's been 30 years, but you're not hurt or anything, right?
Face squished. No, I'm not. I'm not hurt. You can. I was pulling away from you slightly.
Sorry. Releasing her.
I would have seen you yesterday, but I was only told this morning.
Yeah. I really wanted to find you. I did, but I couldn't. And then I was also exhausted and figured our meeting was going to be something like this instead.
Well, I am damn relieved to see you. And all of you, kind of looking towards everyone, and eyes lock on to Shang Sui, but not for longer than is appropriate.
How long is appropriate, huh?
About as long as her eyes lock on to the others. They do seem a little surprised at your appearance, but not overly. Or at least enough to be, or at least not enough to be rude. Just I heard the news of who all of y'all are already, but I'm Himia, one of the maids here, attendant to this one.
Lane does not at all seem bothered by being referred to as this one. In fact, she smiles at it.
I'm pretty new to this whole, it's been 30 years, so it's pretty kind of a recent gig, I guess.
Probably more 40, because Lane was there for 10. So yeah, 4 years.
But it's good to see you. alive? As she kind of like seems to like choke back a response.
Oh. Yes.
Well, can I get you all everything? Anything?
Well, you already brought breakfast brandy, so
It's the
That's
most
a good
important meal of the
start.
day, isn't it?
yes, it is. You know, you got your Is brandy a wheat? I think it's a wheat.
All I know is it
I
feels
would like some brandy. My head is killing me.
good. She's got a sense of humor. Kinda
So I've not traveled with her long, but so I've seen. Kind of steps aside also to like let this poor woman in.
slips kind of deftly by. So how do you drink? Kind of
Just-
crouches down near you.
Pour me a glass and then put the glass into the crystal ball, and I'll do it myself.
Kind of shrugs, pours a glass, and kind of sets it kind of like atop of the crystal ball, or just sits balanced. Is that right?
Yes, it's fine. And then I use my psychic powers to kind of finagle the glass inside of the crystal ball
Mm-hmm.
and take a sip.
Now, is there like an entryway or like a hole, or are you only able to like do that?
Well, there's. Well, you see, and I kind of like shift and roll and like show there is a little opening to like reach into the crystal ball where you can unscrew the glass.
No visible handholds on it, but with psychic
Yeah,
powers,
mhm.
you can do anything.
Yeah.
That answers a few more questions and brings a few more up. Seems to be the theme here.
Well, have you know that it is completely watertight, though I do have to open it up for air.
That's
Huh.
And no, I do not float.
That's sad. I feel like if you're going to be a ball, you should at least be able to float.
Oh, float in water. I can float in air, but not water.
You know, there you
Yeah.
go.
You sink. That's rough, buddy.
Well, it turns out my brain is just too heavy to hold.
You know, I don't think I'd be smart enough to know how to move if I was a ball, so that tracks. How about the rest of y'all? Anything to get you?
Can I ask the I don't remember her name. But can I ask her if she's heard tell of any traveling magicians around the area?
She kind of cups her chin in one of her hands and like, rubs a little bit as if like lost in thought. Well, I did see a bit of a flyer. I was out in another town getting some supplies, you know, meetings, that sort of thing. What was the magician's name that you're looking for?
I didn't think I would get this far. Hang on. His name.
Dramatic flair.
I'm trying to remember the name. However, due to part of this curse, I can't remember, or I can't actually speak his true name. His name, Brandybuck Copperwire?
I don't. Well, in any case, it was kind of an old flyer. So, who knows if it was the exact one, but it had a bit of a itinerary on it. Said he was associated with some kind of bigger group. Jeweled Hand or something?
And which town did you say this was in?
Oh, this was. I was just over off in Brewham, but I think he was already heading off to somewhere else by that point.
Damn it.
But
Well,
like I
thank you
said,
for the lead, at least.
uh, with an organization, or at least the flyer said he was part of one. Jeweled Hand, I think it was called.
Have I ever heard of the Jeweled Hand?
You can go ahead and do a recall knowledge check. This might be something that Veen would know about, but it would also be something I need to discuss with Evie after getting a list to them.
Ooh, questions.
It's a group of individuals you've kind of heard very vaguely of. And you're like, oh yeah, Jeweled Hand, they made a device, or they commissioned someone to make a device, some kind of time contraption, but Diamond Blood stole it. Wait, this was 30 years ago.
Yeah, all my knowledge is ancient.
I see. Well, thank you anyway for the information. Can I tip her a coin?
Kind of grabs the coin out of midair as it's kind of telekinetically tossed.
Ding.
Like, Lane, what are the lotto numbers?
I'll tip her a silver for the good tip.
Kind of grins and pushes it into like a pocket, but you don't even quite know where it is. Too many folds in the outfit.
Ah, a woman of taste.
Lane, it would probably occur to you that like the official uniform doesn't have like hidden pockets around. This is clearly something she's modified onto it herself.
Lane is not surprised. In fact, she smiles. She's like, yep. I know. She's got like 18 pockets in there.
Anything else I can get anyone else? Information apparently is on the table too.
I didn't know you'd become a spy? An information? I don't know.
Oh,
the
I've
name,
got
but-
all sorts of talents you don't know about, Lady Lane.
Oh yeah,
The
you've got
correct
30 years.
term is informant.
Informant, thank you. You've got 30 years to one up me on all your talents. I'd love to see.
I might even be better at dancing than you now.
You know, you probably are. When you die, your muscles kind of atrophy a lot. So.
You can
A
see
lot?
her fucking like go beat red and just like she's said such a fucking dumb thing. Like, right.
Lane wings. Don't worry. I'll let you have that one.
She's got 30 years of rigor mortis on this.
Slaps thigh. I got 30. You can fit 30 years of rigor mortis in this bitch. Actually, rigor mortis only lasts for a
think-
couple hours.
I was gonna say, I think that's called decomposition.
Yeah.
Corpse
Yeah.
soap.
Dad, I'm dang good with a knife now, and it's not just in the kitchen no more.
Oh my god, I'm surprised they let you in the kitchen still.
Oh, right. I
After the
wasn't
last
allowed back in
time.
the kitchen back when everything happened. Yeah, you've been gone a while.
Yeah. I kind of only recently found out about the wild part. How long, not to make things like overly, serious, so we can keep our light tone here going, how long was it between the time of the Diamond Bloods taking the taking the manor and everyone coming back to your informationalist informant of mine?
About a year?
A year! Jesus. That's no time at all.
Yeah, their revolution was pretty quick, and there was a group at the forefront of it. Their leader was based up here for a while. Big, 20-foot tall half-dragon fella. Giant sword. He was horrifying. We didn't have to deal with him though. Just some of his lackeys. Another group took him out.
Does he sound familiar?
He's a figure that you would have known of as being someone kind of in and alive at the time. And long dead, certainly, at least if you are getting the story right now. But yeah, a man by the name of Cyrus, or half dragon, once a man.
Familiar name. Well, thank you. Good to know it wasn't terribly long, although I suppose everybody rots the same, so.
Not speaking of, at least I hope not soon. You should probably see Ginger.
Oh, God. Yeah.
She's
I'll do
getting
that.
pretty up there.
She is, and I've lost a good amount of time with her. I'll be sure to, sometime today.
She's just a few rooms down the hall. We give her one of the nice ones.
I'm glad she's still here. And being taken care of, I hear.
Well, she took care of us long enough.
I miss her meals every day. Although I was really worried I was going to, lose my ability to dance with all the peach cobbler she'd make.
Yeah. I can point you to her if you'd like to have a moment while I help your friends.
Lane looks utterly unprepared for a moment and then it just kind of nods.
Birds.
Yes, that would be excellent.
Oh, they're so cute. They're chirping.
I hear them.
Chirping birds.
Little babies. Let me just... I'll kind of move you along, and we'll stick here with the larger group for just a moment.
You've been tucked away.
See if there's anything else that is discussed after Lane makes an exit. And if not, then we can move along.
Honestly, Arlo would just ask for a water instead of a bread.
Mhm.
Chancellor's
knows
ready
him.
to get on the move on after hearing the tip.
We agreed to a couple days.
Yeah, you'll get a water and kind of receive like a fairly sarcastic but like also clearly jokey like eye roll of like, what, water? 9 a.m.? Come on, it's late enough. Before handing you a glass of water.
Amy is the reason I'm nearly an alcoholic. I've decided. Not me personally, but Lane.
I learned it from watching you. Yeah. Kind of stop up next to V and just... So I know a noble when I see one at this point.
Stands up a little straighter.
And
Perhaps.
where are you from?
Why did I take a bite right when I knew you were gonna ask something? I'm sorry. Give me a second. She kind of shifts back and forth a little, and she's just like, "I'm from Minas Colma."
Ooh. Been to the capital a few times. It's pretty nice. So
It is.
obviously you're out here for a reason. What, you looking for anyone or anything? Steal a family sword? Lose a lost love? I know
Her eyes like snap over.
I know a thing or two. Clear, if the last few conversations have been anything to go by. If you're looking for anything, hit me up.
How do you know all of that? twirls hand in general direction. That was
Do
far
you
too
see-
spot
Oh.
on.
All of what?
All of the things you just said.
Huh? Wait. I mean, I figured the sword looked a little fancy, but the rest of it was right too?
Oops. Perhaps. My son is trying to bite me, I'm sorry.
Narrows her eyes a little. Well, like I said, I see a thing or two. No one really pays attention to a maid, and if you get your eyes open, you pick up all sorts of secrets. If you do have any questions, who knows, I might know a thing or two.
I might have a question or two. Later.
Sure. Well, I'm just downstairs in the servants' quarters. In the nicest room in the servants' quarters. So find me then, okay?
Nods.
Turns around. Goes back down the stairs.
V looks shaken.
And we move to Lane down here, who is stood outside of a doorway, currently closed. And
Is Haro nearby, or is he?
wait, is
I
Haro
need my
nearby?
emotional.
You need
Yeah, I
your
need my
ESA
emotional
bird?
support rat.
Yeah, all right. Haru's here. Here we go.
Woo! She kind of pauses for a moment. She kind of like doing that thing you do when you're anxious and like slaps her hands. Oh my god, Haru. I swear to god if I scare this woman to death, I could not live with myself.
Well, if you can't, I'm sure the star will bring you back.
Thanks. So glad to know that I'm now unwillingly in a loop of life. All right, let's go. She'll knock on the door. I'll process that trauma later. But she'll knock on the door before.
Hear a kind of
Yeah.
soft, elderly voice speak out. Yes? Who's there?
Ginger, it's me. Kind of open the door and walk in.
You kind of
Alright.
walk
Move it.
inside and see the image of what surely used to be a little bit of a more portly elderly woman, but is now aged, still stocky build, but not quite as plump as you recall. Lines worn on her face, kind of eyes half rested open, gray hair, clearly with some effort put into it, but kind of scraggling a little bit. Large large glasses, a scarf around her neck and shoulders, a large shawl across her as well, sat in a chair kind of by the window, book in hands. Doesn't look like it's turned pages in quite a while. Lane, is that... Goodness, I must be seeing things.
She'll kind of walk over and like gently place a hand on her shoulder. I can promise you're not.
You're here.
In the flesh.
Well, does these old bones good to see that? I'll not question how. I've seen more than enough in my time.
I'm afraid it would be a terribly boring story anyway. I don't really know.
And what is it that you don't know? Precisely.
How I died. Or sorry, I know how I died. How I came back.
But you've an inkling, I'm sure. You're always a clever one.
She smiles.
Whatever business you're in, see that you let your family help. If it's a place to rest, these doors will be open to you anytime. If it's some nice pie, I'm afraid making it's a bit beyond me, but I've drilled the recipe into Himia enough, but I'm sure she could give it half a shot.
Oh, she'll give it half a shot, all right. Of brandy, and then 7 more.
That's the secret.
I always thought others left me feeling a little lightheaded.
Well, you cook all the alcohol out of it, dear. It's just flavor enhancers. Although, well, who knows how she makes it. Little firebrand.
We'll have to compare sometime. I'm sure it's nothing compared to yours. No offense to Hemia.
Well, I'm sure it is nothing compared to mine. You've got that right. Kind of looks up a little indignantly, eyes opening a little more. Did you come here alone? I hope you didn't.
There are... no, there are several others with me. There's V, she's a fellow noblewoman like myself, and then there's Shongsui and Saki and Arla and O'Hara.
And they treat you well?
Oh, all of them quite well, yes. Oh, and Haru, of course, and she kind of rolls her shoulder with the bird on it.
Kind of looks at the bird, kind of intently. He is quite the odd little thing, isn't he?
Oh, yes. Very opinionated, very bossy.
Nothing like Peach was.
She looks a little sad. No, Peach was gentle and lovely and all quite opposite of Haru.
Kind of points a crooked finger at the bird. A Peach you might not be, but you're still a lady's bird. And that makes you family too. Which at first he kind of like does his usual like puff up when she points at him, but then just kind of like almost taken aback by that comment, like softens and like looks away. I'll not keep you long, but I'm glad you're here. We all lost something that day. Just glad it wasn't forever.
Me too. Confusing as all of this is. I saw the grave. It was very lovely. Everyone left things. It was very well maintained, I think. People must have been there a few days before even, at least to clean up and everything.
There's semi-frequent visits out to the old family grave. It's not nearby, so it's a little hard to make the trip.
It's a bit of a ghastly walk. You should consider when your dad come back to life. That's a terrible joke, I'm sorry.
No, and when I pass, I think I'll have set down the torch for good. Unless they can get me new legs.
Oh, well, all things considered, you never know.
Well, then, I will happily take those legs.
I'll make sure to find fresh ones for you. No, that's awful. I'm sorry.
Well, your wit certainly hasn't left you, even with all that time at the grave.
It didn't feel like very long to me.
Well,
I don't have any memories.
That's odd.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought you were supposed to like go to like some place and then these,
The
you know, the
scripture says you'd go to the boneyard where
yes.
her lady, Pharasma, is waiting to judge you and move you on to your next plane or your next life. Certainly, you should have been through all that in that amount of time.
You'd think so, but it's all emptiness for me. Maybe I did meet her and it got wiped away when I came back. I'm not sure. Whatever it is, I'm no doubt she's terribly pleased with me.
Well, it's not you she won't be pleased with, if I am understanding it right. It's
I
whatever
certainly
did
didn't
it.
bring myself. Yes, I certainly didn't bring myself back to life. At least not to my knowledge.
And if you did, well then, fuck the gods, right?
That's what I always said, actually.
Kind of looks a little too proud of herself for that. Perhaps one of the first times you ever heard her cuss.
Lane's like, yeah! At that age. Cussing's just in your vocabulary now. Congrats. Well. I'm glad to see you're doing well. Oh, sorry, Garen.
No. Son of a snitch! I think Rorik was meant to return today.
Oh, Rory. It'll be good to see him too. So many people they have to see again and break the news to over and over again.
I think he'll be happy to see you and your party. He's been looking into some ruffians. More specifically, he's been looking after his son.
Son? Do I know about a son?
No.
Son? When did he find time to have a relationship? Let alone a child.
Well, she was quite forceful. So she made the time. But, well, I don't know, something 20-some years ago.
That's wonderful to hear. I'll have to meet his son as well, and the wonderful
Right.
mother of his son.
I hope that you get to.
Lots of meeting going on. My voice said goodbye.
Well, in any case, I'm sure he'll want some help, and I'm sure your friends are all very capable.
They are, and I'm sure they're itching to go about their days. I hope they can grant me a few days of, even if one more night of rest and reprieve before we get back at it.
Well, I'm sure when the good sir returns, he won't be wanting to run out of town immediately. He might have a night.
Huh, get it? Because he's a knight, sorry.
You catch on quick, dearie. Stop wasting your time with an old biddy like me. Go on.
It's never wasted time. Of course. She kind of goes to stand and like goes for the door, but then pauses for a moment and turns back. If I may ask, was it you or Hemia that, took care of Peach for the rest of their life? I saw the epitaph.
Himia took him under wing.
Oh, poor thing. He was already elderly by then. I know she treated him well, but I'm sure there was lots he had to get used to.
One too many treats, I think. Which
Oh,
I approve of. Let an
Passive
old
so
bird have
nice.
his treats.
Exactly. And you as well. On that note, do you need me to ask Hemia if you need anything? Do you need anything from Hemia? I can let her know.
need her to perfect my recipe.
I'll
her-
let her know
To bring another slice.
I'll let her know the pressure's on. We'll kind of do a little bow and back out of the room. Whop. And then bird with me. Whoop. Whoop.
Bird follow.
Sorry to keep you all waiting. there's two of me.
There's two of you? I only see one
When
of you.
oh no, I'm just silly. When I move Haro, it moves me too.
Uh,
But he slowly like shifts.
he follows ever so slowly.
He's like sliding around on me.
Slip and slide. Oh my
Bless you.
Oh my
Bless
gosh.
you.
Excuse me.
You're
You are
excused.
a
Gosh,
best
I unmuted
You're
just the
excused.
cough. Wow. I was gonna say though, don't worry about it. I understand you have a lot to get caught up on.
I do. I appreciate
And-
the understanding.
It's not like we can really, go anywhere without a full party. I'm only a head after all.
Yes, we'll have to discuss that sometime. It's been so chaotic. I apologize, you and Saki especially have just kind of gotten swept up into things. Speaking of swept up into things, I hope Saki's not buried themselves in a pile of books too deeply.
Saki, you okay in there?
muffled yells from underneath a literal mountain of books would have collapsed.
Oh,
We'll take her,
she's
we'll take
fine.
her out later. It's fine.
She's fine.
She's living her best life.
It looks like she's really wormed her way into those books. Well, you did say we would have to stay a few more days, so hopefully Saki finds what she is looking for by the time.
As long as she's eating, I'll probably have to
by
pop
the
into
time
the
we
library.
are ready to leave.
Yes. I'll probably have to pop into the library at some point myself, so I'll make
Mhm.
sure she's fed and watered.
Just like a plant.
Water.
Can Shansui go out to town and try to set up her fortune-telling stall?
Oh, absolutely.
we
You know,
wait.
Arla also wanted to head out to town.
Yes, she sure did.
hmm
Ow.
Rolling,
can-
rolling, rolling.
I punched my desk.
Go over.
Why?
Well, it just seemed like the thing to do.
Did it owe you money?
Yeah.
No. Did you get it?
No.
No.
Lane, upon seeing everybody like go to head out, is just kind of like looking a little lost, like, oh no.
as we'll do Shang Sui's fortune telling booth first, as you kind of go down to kind of the market district, which is probably where Arla is heading to. It's in the east district of town. A lot of mercantile things around there. At least for where the
Find
common
a-
folk would be.
A small alleyway to kind of
Mhm.
shuffle into.
Yeah, for sure. Arla, somewhere in the vicinity as well. Probably walk down together before splitting off your separate ways. Of course, if anyone else has something to do in town, just let me know. But first, we will have Shang Sui roll her fortune-telling lore skill.
Should I roll performance first to see if I can attract any customers?
Yeah, please go for it.
Alrighty.
Need to get the captivating performance feat.
Ooh.
Ooh, 28. Yeah, absolutely. You managed to draw like a decent, maybe not crowd because you're in like a little bit of an alleyway, right? But a good stream of people kind of throughout the time that you're set up here, probably while Arla's doing her shopping. And it's pretty decent group that's kind of gathered, and you know, it's a variety of individuals. There's a few gnomes, seems to be a pair of individuals. There's this woman with kind of this almost near sheet white or gray skin, white hair, but kind of tints into black. She's wearing a fine kind of robe. Who's also in the crowd, a couple other people as well. All kind of like gathering to get their fortunes told.
Yeah. A fate for your silver for your fate. I use my psychic powers to kind of put on a little like dreamscape around me as I set up the shop, attracting people until they're crowding around the small alleyway, rushing to get their fortune told by this strange individual.
Absolutely. And as they're all kind of rushing to get their fortune told by said individual, uh, this one individual does kind of approach you. They're kind of wearing kind of traveler's clothes, a little bit of armor, but no like arms upon them. They seem like a traveler. It's a catfolk, kind of yellowish fur spots. They look a little bit like a cheetah. Walks up and is like, yeah, no, I could use a fortune telling. That sounds great.
Alrighty. I let him pay with silver first.
Yep. Tosses some
And
silver down
then-
for you,
Occultism check, yes.
please.
Mm.
We are, of course, 2 hours in, so you would have 3 hero points at this stage. If you
Okay.
did care to.
All right, yeah, let's use one.
Not at all required.
Mark it as 2. Let's try this again.
Yeah, 17.
Better?
Certainly better. Yeah, as you kind of, read palms or what have you, you do start to get a little bit of a vision. Of course, fortune telling is never exactly super clear, but the impressions you're getting are feelings of potential, feelings of danger, feelings of change.
Okay. As I read the fortunes, I also try to detect any signs of the man I'm looking for from all these people, as well as collect as much money and tips as possible.
For sure. And it kind of goes, God damn it, people. I sneeze never in your snoocher.
I snap in your snoocher.
Yeah. Your snap of snooches. Yeah, no, you get a good fair few fortunes told throughout the day, and you're fairly confident that you at least get a couple good ones out there. You've always got to kind of crapshoot a few as a part of the day. Some people are reading mud, but mostly it goes pretty well, and you bring in about 10 gold throughout the day.
Oh, wow. Okay. Do I find any information?
There is some vibes that you're picking up through the crowd of the people. But roll perception to kind of
Okay.
A lot of the people that you are telling the fortunes of feel like they're not from here necessarily. A lot of them are wearing traveler's clothes. They've got large packs on their backs. Some of them carrying arms, some of them not. But there's definitely a surprising amount of people looking for your fortune that are from out of town and aren't just civilians.
Okay. Do any of them, these travelers, have information from far off on traveling magician troops?
On several
I don't
good
ask them
rolls in a
directly,
row.
but
Yeah, of course. I'm not gonna ask for a roll for this one. You've got several checks in a row. You've made 3 successful rolls. Anything else I'm gonna have you roll from here on out, that would just be kind of superfluous. So there are a couple of them. The kind of very pale-skinned woman with the kind of white and black hair I mentioned does kind of say I always love this kind of mystic kind of stuff, it's just always a blast. there's this magician. I think he's with the jeweled hands. So he's kind of, a sketchy guy, but saw him a couple of months back. He was coming from over, west. You ever catch a show like that?
Was his name similar to Billy Ray Talisman?
Something like that.
I kind of like seethe with a bit of rage as I think on this man. And then I thank her for her information and offer a free palm reading.
Mm-hmm. She kind of looks over to her friend. It's this catfolk that has, you gave a reading earlier. She's like, ha ha. You see what happens when you're a people person?
Okay. Is there any other interesting fates I seem to see that pertain to either the jeweled hand or the what are they called? Blood.
The diamond bloods.
Diamond bloods. That's it.
Your reading of these palms, there's no expressed signs of the diamond blood specifically. You kind of reckon if they're in town, they probably aren't wearing their emblems.
Right.
But you do feel a fair few of the fortunes that you actually read throughout the day are similar to that one you read for the catfolk. Potential danger change.
Got it. Alrighty. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add. At least for now.
Alright. Then we shift to Arla, who's outside of the caustic bubble. This simmering and smoking scent coming from inside this sinister storefront. As, many alchemy stores style themselves, it's a bit spooky on the outside. It's a PR thing. If you're selling potions and reagents and vials of sorts, you better look magic. And if you're magic, you're spooky.
All showmanship.
It's all showmanship. Being a thaumaturge, that alchemy is pure science, in fact. There is almost nothing magical about the process other than maybe some innate properties in the materials themselves. But it is a purely scientific process. Most alchemists style themselves like magic weirdos. And this one looks no different, at least from the front of the store. And from the green gas that is bubbling out from under the door.
That's a good one. Haven't seen that one in a little bit. Just gonna push open the door. She's not bothered by this even a little bit.
Oh, you've been in stores like this frequently, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You thought about opening one time, I'm sure.
Yeah, but she's not very good with plants. She
Yeah.
likes things that are a little bit more random and miscellaneous.
You don't like the scientific process. You like the random bullshit go process.
I like being able to vibe out an item being used as a weapon.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very different thing. One's the literal magic of, symbolism, and the other is the literal not magic of using magic things. But yeah, you swing the door open, and you hear this kind of voice bubble forth from the smog. Welcome to the caustic bubble. How may I help you?
I was gonna look around. I'm assuming she doesn't see anyone immediately.
Not immediately, but your eyes kind of adjust to the dark and sat kind of in the back of this shop where there's these alembics and mortars and pestles and all sorts kind of all around. There's this fairly kind of rotund lizard person. You've never seen a fat lizard before, but here he is.
my
Yeah. Arla doesn't just gonna sort of put on a little bit of a performance. Be like, I found I got a potion from a witch, but I was hoping to get it checked before I did anything with it.
Ah, yes. It's Fat Fuck Friday. These fucking pictures are being sent to the group chat. Oh my god. A witch. Magic most foul. Potions of wretched sorts. Bring it. Allow me to give it a look.
And Arla will do so. Step in and pull out the potion or the bottle and basically let him have a look.
Mm-hmm. He kind of like reaches a clawed hand out. The claws are long and kind of very gingerly takes the little vial between two of these claws and looks at it. Tantalizing. It will not be hard or long to identify it. There is a cost. All things have a price.
I assure you I can pay it.
Kind of looks at the vial for a little. 15 gold.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
15 gold.
Do I know how much gold Arla even has on hand?
There's the party stash as well.
Yeah. Somewhere. God. That's a lot of money.
Arla in Arla's inventory has about 3 gold and 7 silver, but the party
Take
stash.
from the party stash lane will sponsor all outdoor activities for their
The
duration.
party stash currently has 72 gold pieces in it, which
All
is
right, I
just
guess I'm pulling from the
miscellaneous.
party stash, so.
For haggle.
Yeah, I mean, she was gonna try that first.
Mhm.
All right, let's just drop this. I know
Right.
that
of
you
course.
can tell me what this is, but
Yes.
like, I don't think that. Listen, I know more about this than you think. Then I give off. Listen, I understand it's the whole like performance and everything, but like, actually, genuinely, I do understand more of this than I come across as. So.
Well, that makes it simple then. Let's cut through the rigmarole and just brass tacks. Yes.
Yes.
Good. It's tiring, bloody tiring. No, as I said, asking price is 15 gold. But
15.
I'm willing to negotiate.
Hmm.
Can Shang Sui kind of roll in during
Nearby,
this
sure.
and
You're on your smoke break.
offer to tell this man's fortune in order to decrease the price?
Meh, utterly unscientific. Merely fortune I care about. Clink, clink, clink. Is this?
Can I use performance to try and convince him that this is real?
Be more of a diplomacy check to make an impression from either of you.
Diplomacy?
Yeah, more diplomacy.
I'm getting all the good rolls tonight.
No kidding. Kind of looks to Arla. One eye blinks, looks back to Shang Sui. The other eye blinks, kind of looking at the two of you independently.
Kind of throw off my hood and show that I am a floating head.
Pretty impressive, I'm not gonna lie. That's
Well,
Well, a
So
fortune.
it's utterly unscientific. Explain this.
Well, that's clearly magic. It's a different thing entirely. I still am not interested in the fortune, but if you'd let me give a look at that ball for a little while, then I'll give you a discount.
Arla's just going to look at, just sort of turn to look. She's like, it's up to you. You're the ball.
I actually kind of wanted to get my crystal ball checked out in any case. So this is a win-win.
Perfect. Now, first the potion, then the rest. And you moving out here was a good idea. Getting so much profit.
He's kind of stretching. Looks to Arla.
These people in the boonies are utterly gullible. You understand?
Perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So much tension.
Yeah, and here as he says, like, here out in the
Thompson kind
boonies,
of nods too.
um,
Like, yes, utterly gullible.
yeah, he is in a large, well-developed city, one of the largest ones in the country.
Arla's like, if this is the boonies, where the fuck am I from?
Right. Now, anyway, as I was saying, first of all, there's an enchantment in this vial to make it enticing. That's why we both want to drink it so bad right now, and I'm sure you too, although I don't know if you drink. And I'm sure you've noticed that. But it's enticing. That is forspoken.
Yes.
I can't dispel the enchantment any less than I can identify it, but it is certainly present. However, it's a good thing you've not drunk it.
Pops open the cork and, like, lays out a kind of sheet of paper, and on which he kind of basically he puts like a little one of those little glass plates, like for like bacteria, right?
Mm-hmm.
Petri dish.
A
A petri dish.
dish.
He puts like a petri
Yeah.
dish down, whereas like, and then on top of that puts like some like leaves and herbs and whatnot, some reagents, and kind of pours a bit of the vial in, only a tiny bit of it, and it starts to rapidly dissolve all these leaves and herbs.
Dragon acid. That's not a fancy name, that's what that is.
Good.
Oh my
Kill me
god.
now. Got it. All right.
Likely it wouldn't have killed you, but it would have been highly unpleasant. You would have been under the weather for quite some time. Poison, well, not quite poison, but it's a similar effect.
I kind of eye Arla, like, why is she carrying this around?
I got it from a witch. I wasn't lying about that. You weren't here. You didn't hear me say that. I got it from a witch.
You got it from a witch.
Right. Not the witch that happened to be in our party.
You're traveling with a
Oh.
witch.
No. Who knows? Who knows if we are or aren't traveling with a witch?
Excuse me, shopkeep. We're having a private conversation here.
Ah,
Can you please be a dear and not interrupt us?
Kind of turns around and starts kind of grinding away at some other reagents, muttering.
Where did you find this witch?
It would be more correct to say that she found me. It was a long time ago that she found me. The vial might be new.
I see. All right, Dana. I'll leave that to your business then, as you can thank me later for stepping in.
Yes, appreciate it. Now I believe we owe the man a look at your.
Yeah, I look at my ball. I'm sorry. You said you wanted to look at my ball?
yes, that's right. I would
Singular?
like to get a good, hard look at your ball.
Okay, that's fine, but I'm not leaving, so you'll have to look with me inside.
To be honest, I hadn't presumed you were able to. So that's just fine with me. If you'd like to set yourself on this device here, there's this kind of like metal stand with a circular dais atop
I'm
it.
gonna float over and like rest myself in the center of the dice.
Yep. Kind of grabs another like part of it that's kind of on like this lever mechanism, and there's another like rounded thing on the top of it, and kind of clamps you in almost. Although you don't feel like locked in, you could probably get out if you had wanted to. But
Just to keep me stable.
yeah, and you kind of start to like as it's like starts to spin.
I'm sorry, so what you're saying is you grab and vibrate my ball?
Spins the ball.
Spins the ball.
And kind of like he's looking out like this like sheet of paper that's seemingly like connected to and like coming out from this like bottom of this magic device.
The spin!
Yes, the
Yeah,
spin.
exactly that. Yeah. God, I fucking love gyro. Anyway, and kind of like
So first,
kind of stops spinning you around and takes the top circle off. And
Whoa. Okay, no touching. My head.
I'll leave that where it lays. I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. How much do you know about the crystal?
I know that it used to actually work for whatever before a certain curse landed square upon it.
Quite, yes. I presume that's how you're connected. Well, this is a moonstone crystal ball. A rather derelict one, for that matter. It's a device of elven make, often used for spellcasters. You seldom see one outside of Asmon, but I've been fortunate enough to lay my eye on one every once in a while. They're quite powerful, mostly for use of engraving runic magics upon enchantments of the sort, defensive, offensive, or otherwise. But, well, neither here nor there. Yours is other than the curse involved with it, an empty vessel. I don't even know if we could hold an enchantment at the moment.
Is there any way to fix it?
No, certainly. Need to have an elven smith work at the thing. Someone familiar with the sort. But it's certainly fixable. And who knows? If it were to be fixed, perhaps some of the old enchantments it used to bear might flare to life.
I see. I hope you found this quite interesting to look at as well.
It is. I've never gotten quite so good a look at one of these, even if it is in the state that it's in. I believe I'll be able to make some progress here with this. I've been looking into making them myself.
I see.
Yeah, the elves don't like to share their secrets though, so it's been very slow going.
Well, would you like me to tell your fortune on how well you will do in this endeavor?
Fate's in
Free
my
of charge.
hands, unfortunately.
Well, can't say I didn't try.
Right. Well, that will still
I
be
kind of float out of the grasp of the device and back to beside Arla.
that'll still be a matter of about, call it 7 gold now.
Okay. Can I help Arla pay it using the gold I have gained? Since I got something out of this as well.
If you'd like to. Arlo's the one here, so.
Yeah, Arla's got 3 gold total, so if you want to chip in, you can. Otherwise, I'll just dip into the party funds.
Very
There's
well.
really-
I'll pay the other 4. I love getting money, but I'm also not opposed to spending it if I got something in return.
So I guess that is 7 gold.
It is 7 gold. Yes, 3 plus 4 does indeed.
Does
give us
indeed make 7.
Well, will that be all? Or would you like to purchase some other potions or reagents?
Not at the present time, no, but if I'm in the area and I need your assistance again, I will make sure to come back.
Ah, very good. It's good to have a customer to not have to do the whole here approaches kind of business with. Not that it isn't a little fun.
I can imagine. It would get tiring after a while.
But, do it, you must entertain the dull masses.
Mm-hmm.
Here. Speaking of, I think I can hear some more coming down the street, so shoo-shoo.
Alright.
And roll on out.
Autobots, roll out.
Rolling.
Surrender the Allspark!
Autobots, roll out.
It's been too long.
Fuck. What is.
Are you ladies man 24417?
All right, shall we roll back to the manor
Yeah.
estate? Whoa!
Ow.
Mario ass
She's
noises.
booming.
Wow!
Fucking muted the fuck. Pick me up, Mike.
Whoa!
Whoa. Yeah. Any other things that happen in and amongst the town?
Not in the town. Elaine notably doesn't leave.
Okay.
It's like, I'm staying right here.
V, do you do anything while they're out on their shopping trip?
I feel like I should go and seek out the one made what was the name of the person? that
Hemia.
was the Hemia?
Nemia.
Hemia.
Do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gun emoji.
Yeah, we would go and seek out sorry, Hemia you said?
Nemia.
Hemia. Okay, yeah. Would go and search out them and where would they be?
Let me move ya over yonder. Is there?
Yeah, yonder.
Yeah, yonder.
Why the I forgot about you, man.
Yay!
No. Everybody all at once.
What's going on?
That is the anthem of my cat Milo.
Mhm. Absolutely. But yeah, you are outside of a door of Hemia in the servants' quarters. Hear kind of like some humming coming from within as you recognize the voice and give a knock on the door, and she'll come up and open it and just be like, "Aha! Well, come in." Kind of
Shuffles in.
You sit there, kind of points at the desk of a chair, and then just kind of like hops backwards over the kind of foot of their bed and lands on it.
It will let me. Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Because we're
When you're trying
trying
to
to
set
so
your
many
dolls up in
walls.
the when you're trying to set your dolls up in the dollhouse and they just keep falling over.
Right? Yes.
So, some information. Kind of hands wrapping together.
Sighs heavily. What do you know about the Sternberg family? Just broadly.
Broadly, well. Kind of again seems to like think for a moment, chin grasped in their or one hand between their kind of thumb and index finger. Well, I know their patron to the Church of Pharasma in Minas Colma, and I know that they make sizable donations, but that's not what you're asking, is it?
I suppose not.
know they're a little more stuck up than most people would like to be thought of. I know that that's not something most people know. I know they don't think kindly of people in my tax bracket, and even less so of people in lower ones. And I know they've got some slimy connections, you know, when you start looking beyond their magnanimous ways with the church. Take it that's your family.
It may yet be. What sort of slimy connections do you happen to know about? Any information you could offer me?
Normally I charge for that kind of thing. I mean, your friend did tip me, but you're a friend of Lady Lane, so you get this for free. Most people kind of just think about them as slimy merchants. But I happen to be in the know that they're a whole lot more than that. It's a group called the Jeweled Hand. They get their hands in kind of every pie that they can, be it, magic knowledge, experiments, people, trafficking. You know, anything and everything. Mostly it's just petty thievery and white-collar crime, but they're certainly not above anything else. Not that they're assassins or anything, gosh, but...
I suddenly think they're assassins.
I know, right?
No, you'd be well within your rights to call them, a thieves guild, I guess. If they had an official title.
And you say my family is connected to them.
I have it on decent authority. I've seen some individuals I had my eye on during, the recapture days that I saw going into the Stromberg hold and all sorts. That's probably before your time. So, who knows if they still have connections with them, right? But
it's likely?
that's definitely possible. Can't slip much by these elven eyes of mine. She kind of grins, like a sparkle in the fucking teeth, as though it's clearly like, me being an elf has nothing to do with it. I'm just fucking cool. Shut up.
Oh my gosh. She kind of like shifts a little bit. You mentioned something about trafficking having to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't have. Is that just shipments of goods that that wouldn't happen to be like people, would it?
Normally it's just goods. They haven't really done that sort of work, but more to the point, if you're worried about people, you're focusing on the wrong part. Magic experiments. That's where all the fun stuff with people happens.
She looks very stricken. We do happen to be researching quite a bit about humans and, well, experiments and the like right now. They wouldn't happen to have anything to do with this, would you know?
With this in
Human experiments, or
the jeweled hands, certainly. I remember there was a lieutenant of theirs way back in the day. I think she was a halfling. She disappeared one day, and next time she showed up, she was a, snake person. Same person, though. Fancy that.
she stands up very quickly, and kind of walks towards the door. If I could do that, but I can't. So makes to leave a little bit. She just looks very like ill all of a sudden, and like very clearly has like cataloged this in her mind. And she kind of like stands with her back like to the room, like face to the door, and she's like, would you happen to have any connections that might investigate specific missing people?
I've been kind of out of the game for a little bit. Again, it was mostly when I had to get involved with some weird stuff when we were taking back the town. But I can certainly hit some old contacts up, send some letters, see if
That
they're
would
still in
be-
the game.
That would be much appreciated. Anyone you could put me into contact with would be much rewarded.
Perfect. Well, do you guys have an idea where you're headed next, or...
I don't know. Do we?
As far as I know of an exact plan, not really. You had some leads to head to Bruum at some point, but you might head elsewhere. I'm not fully sure.
I will have to talk to the rest of the group to see if we have a solid plan of where we're going, but I will make sure to let you know.
Alright. Well, as soon as you know, let me know, and I can see about getting you in contact with someone there. No one in the city.
Wonderful.
Fortunately, we managed to keep the city to us. They just kind of helped with information.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thank you for your time. And she will leave.
Hope you find who you're looking for.
Waves a little hand as she goes.
And gone.
Gone.
Gone. Is there any other chats?
Yeah, I kidnap Arlo the moment she walks through the door.
Kidnap
Just
Arlo
grab her
the
by the
moment.
mouth and
All right.
flip her into the shadows.
All right. Well,
Bag
let
over
me-
her head.
Let me.
Push her down the stairs.
So
Not
valid.
again. Not another one.
No,
Every
please,
campaign.
Every
Please,
campaign
her
there's
knees
one.
Take it. Her knees cannot take it.
Our knees are bad. Never mind. You're right. Knees are bad. This is
Knees
like
are
27.
Rough.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm finishing my notes.
Into the drawing room.
The drawing room. How fancy.
With a candlestick.
Less so absolutely ambushing her the moment she comes back in, but more just like we'll find her later. There, you're sitting there now, Arla.
I mean, I don't think it would have been hard to catch her on the way back in, so.
Sorry. Lane walks in and immediately dies for the second time in her life.
Oh God!
Fuck.
This becomes the game of Clue.
I literally was like, you're like in the drawing room. I'm like with a candlestick.
It's a locked room mystery. Arla didn't do it. Someone did.
I swear to God, officer, she walked in and her head fell off. I don't
died.
know.
Listen, the thing you have to understand is she was dead before, and then she was alive again. I don't know how that works. Maybe she
And now
died again.
Arla's so surprised she turns into Ollie for just a second.
Listen, Annie, you schmuck.
Listen here. Listen here. You don't know what you're talking about. I didn't touch that girl.
Is
Oh my
Chloe
God.
okay?
Chloe
No.
is currently coughing to death.
Are you okay?
I don't know. My throat got really cold.
Sorry.
It was the kiss of death. Just
Oh,
Alright, anyways,
no.
Oh my God.
Lane will kind of walk in and like find Arla and be like, "There you are. I've been wanting to talk to you." And kind of find a seat somewhere. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, meanwhile, Shangsui will be like out being played with by Fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the moment you got back.
Yeah, I'm too tired now to float around because I used so much magic fortune telling. I'm just being rolled about.
I wanted to touch base with you. I hope that's okay if you've got a moment to talk.
Sure.
So you kind of just randomly joined us, and I wanted to make sure you were okay with everything going on, that you're doing okay. You know, given everything, you've kind of gotten wrapped up in all of this rather quickly.
That's it's very much appreciated. This is literally my job.
You know, that's fair. What is your job? Like, description?
What's your title?
Largely.
It's your resume.
Yeah. What is
Can
your
I see a resume? I'm looking to hire.
Give me 3 references and phone numbers.
Yeah.
And I need 18 years of, no, how old are you? I need 50 years of job experience.
Can't quite get there when you're not quite 50 yet.
That's the point.
Largely it's sort of just pick up odd jobs. Anything to do with monsters in particular tends to be my area of expertise.
I remember you mentioned that. The monster part. Well, I mean, we're still pursuing Undead now alongside Diamond Bloods. I still got to do some research on that myself. And I also wanted to ask, how did you know? Oh goodness, names leave me so quickly. Yawn. You seem to go way back.
I don't know if way back, but I've been doing this for a while. It's probably the easiest way to say this. Once you've, you make connections and then they call on you sometimes. That's the easiest way to describe it is just having met people, having done what I do.
That's fair. And are you alright with all of this? The non-monster killing part and the emotions to everything like V does?
I prefer when it's clear, monster attacking villagers, that sort of thing, but I've done more complex jobs before. And as it currently stands, there's not really a reason for me not to stick around.
That's very fair. Can I make an insight check on you to see just like how you're doing?
Perception for sure.
Perception, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I know it's perception.
I
I'm used to the word insight.
I'm getting like flashes in my head of like whole sequences of Arla just doing like Witcher 3 quests. Fuck.
Again, there was a good reason I was very close to picking the bounty hunter for her.
Yeah.
Strange vines about. They've wrapped around them, strangled the creature. Signs of a lesson.
Just Arla all the
Roach.
time.
Roach!
Roach. Fuck.
Anyway, how's a 23 do for an insight check?
How does
Or
Arla
perception.
feel about portals?
Arla is very unnerved about portals. She doesn't like thinking with portals.
Yeah.
She's not hiding anything specific, like everything.
Wanting to see how she's holding up mentally.
Yeah, seems slightly uncomfortable. There's something about the current circumstances that are getting to her a little bit, but otherwise, like, it is kind of just another day.
Well, I hope you know if there's anything ever bothering you or anything, you can talk to me. I get the, perhaps if I might be a bit presumptuous here, the nobility aspect of matters might be a bit unnerving. I don't consider myself to be nobility. I actually quite hate being referred to or treated like it. It's a bit of an unwillingness there from me, even when I knew I was marrying into it. So it's really okay on that matter.
Very much appreciated. I'll be honest, I'm just not really used to the whole gestures around.
Like V.
Like,
That's very fair. I can understand that. Well, I do hope you'll have some moments of reprieve at least. And again, if you do need anything, let me know. Outside of hospitality as well. I'm always open to talk. And I feel quite terribly how you just kind of got looped into things here and how they've just gone all over the place. There's my tea, it's spilled.
it happens. I'm very much aware. I will let you know if I need anything. Thank you. You should probably talk to O'Hara about the whole revolutionaries thing.
I will go do that right now.
I have a long list. Keeps getting rearranged. Lane definitely looks like briefly overwhelmed again, but then it like quickly vanishes from her face. That was just me coughing. Good talk.
Talk, champ. Slaps Lane on the shoulder.
You're doing great, sport.
I like stand up and kind of awkwardly half bow and then like be like, well, that's not making anything normal, and just like before she's fully gotten up from the bow, start opening up the door and rushing out.
Arla is just like laughing, not like rudely, just sort of amused.
As you're standing up, Haro is flying towards the door, landing on the handle and wrenching it open.
Yeah, useful bird.
He's like, go, go, go. And on that note, I guess I'll go find O'Hara.
Let's pick another room here in the house.
Whoop. It's a great house for Clue. Somebody die quickly.
It's a great house for Clue. This map actually was once used in a murder mystery session that I played in.
You know, we could almost all fit the different colors too of clues. So
Unfortunately, the actual
Somebody
murder
died.
mystery session sucked. But
Let's make a new one.
yeah,
make a new
let's
one.
have a
One shot.
Where did I go?
we've put you on the terrace outside here
Oh, wonderful.
in the garden. There's
O'Hara
a statue.
materializes. I scream. It'll kind of just waltz up. It's been 45 minutes of her searching.
Kind of just sat outside with a kind of water, some ice.
Hello. Hi.
Cough some
Oh,
water.
So they always say drink water for that. It never made sense to me.
I'm already choking on water.
Exactly, but do drink water.
kind of looks at you, tears welling.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you.
No, it's fine. It's
Oh my god, they're septum ring babes together.
yeah. Drown faster. But yeah,
my
kind of stood or sat rather here. We'll get you both sat down. Haru's on the table, pecking at some nuts.
Poor pillbug.
Yeah. No, not a pill bug. It might be Yorn. Did you have something that you wanted to discuss? I think I do, but you found me, so
Wow. Goodness gracious. We are terribly awkward. I was going to ask how you're doing with everything, with the Revolutionary Army and the dying parts and the zombies and your fear of the undead or dead.
mm.
It's kind of all looping together. So I want to check in on you.
See, when they're in front of me, it's not so bad. It's what I don't know that's the surprising part. That's why I get surprised. But if they're there, then I can just focus on art and my prayer and my mission and my people's mission, and it all just falls into place, right? Not the same thing with the revolutionaries. Those are my neighbors and my neighbors' kids.
You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I agreed earlier, but I'm rather on the fence about things myself. I don't know enough.
But if I'm gonna do what I have to do, I feel like I've got to stick with you guys, and if I'm sticking with you guys, I'm gonna have to deal with them. And I don't believe in what they're doing. These are people's homes and people's lives, and I don't care what they think they're doing. We're talking about killing hundreds, thousands of people, starting a war for something that might not even happen.
You're right. It doesn't make any sense to me either. I've never been well versed in politics. I never understood wanting to go to war for your ideals when words could work just as well.
They think the current leadership isn't up to protecting everyone.
Maybe it's not, but starting a war is certainly not going to make a difference. Probably just make things worse.
That's
Worst. Worse.
what I think.
If it's any consolation, I'm sorry you got looped into all this, and now you are being faced with the possibility of having to face your neighbors, as you said.
If we can avoid killing too many of them, I'd appreciate it. But
I'll do my best.
Things can get messy.
They can.
I did have something I wanted to talk about.
You mentioned yes.
Yeah.
What would that be?
I don't think this is something I was meant to see, but I'm very observant, and I've got ways to detect magic that I think the others don't. And my ears hear more than you might think. I've seen in the birdcage when you're casting spells.
Lane's kind of quiet and flushed for a moment.
Well, I'm sorry you had to see that. That's rather a ghastly sight. I should tape that
I
down.
wanted to talk about it, but I didn't really know how. I hope you're not mad. I checked with Arla first.
Oh, so now 2 people know. I'm not mad. More surprised you saw it. I try to keep it hidden. It's less about, wanting to keep it hidden, more about, it's a fucking heart in a cage. A literal heart.
Yeah. I noticed. Yeah. No, it's kind of my specialty, noticing things. More so than art is. It's kind of what
Well,
my role was. I'd say in the church, but it was just me and my family. There's not really a shrine to Taikitsu here, or at least in Uprails. I don't even know about in
No.
Australia.
it is a rarer religion here, if I recall.
Yeah.
Are you from here, or did you bring the religion with you, migrating from somewhere else?
Well, I'm from here.
Okay,
Family's from Ashijan. Just
that makes sense.
my dad. Or at least maybe they both are, but I never knew other. Doesn't matter.
Well, you answered my question. I don't know much about it, but I'm sure you have them. I can answer them.
I haven't fully answered your question quite, or fully explained. I understand hiding something, so I'm not gonna tell any strangers or anything, but I think the group should probably know about that. Kind of points to the heart, and I'll probably also keep hiding my thing with strangers, but
So, forgive me. I'm not angry. You have a secret. That I'm not quite sure you've told me. But you're asking me to share mine.
I was getting to that.
Oh, well, okay, go right ahead.
Little in the open here or anywhere, and it takes a little bit to kind of focus on it, but I'm not, I look like this, but I'm not, you probably know there's not really any humans living in Ashijan, and that is still true. It's this magic one my people are really good at. I'm a kitsune.
Do I know what that is?
Magic, spiritually aligned, and shape-shifting fox folk.
Chloe knows what that is.
Mm.
Chloe now also has known what that is. And she looks a little surprised. Oh,
Well, when you said you were from Ashidan, I was a bit confused at first, but that makes perfect sense. Is there a reason you're concealing that from others? Forgive me, I'm not well versed on stuff like this, but it doesn't seem wrong.
Not wrong, just complicated. There's a lot of, even back home, we're not common, and talent with spirits is well known, if a little exaggerated, even if it's only a little. People heckle you for all sorts when they think you're more than you are.
That makes sense. I'm guessing that's how you were able to pick up on the anatomical heart in a cage hidden under crushed velvet.
The magic in it has been kind of singing to me since we met. I wasn't until the tomb that I saw it.
She kind of sighs and like pulls it up from her like the waistband that it's hooked to and like sets it on the table in front of Haro.
Do you want me to tell everyone?
Well, we're all in it together, right?
Suppose you're not wrong there.
And who knows? Maybe someone either knows or can know some way to figure out what's going on. I mean, just look at Zhang's way. They're ahead.
I noticed.
Having your heart outside of you isn't really all that crazy when you consider that.
She kind of looks a bit sheepish for a moment and glances at Haro and then glances at the heart and then glances at her hands on the table.
Right. So about that, I don't think it's mine. If I understood the conversation correctly, I had asked the very same question because I don't have a pulse, and I can't be separated from it for very far. Well, bad things happen, and it's not pleasant. And so I had asked Haru, "Is this my heart?" And he asked what led to that conclusion, and I explained what I'm explaining to you, and then he said it's not my heart. It made me feel very stupid. I felt all triumphant, like I'd finally figured something out about all this.
Maybe there's a kind of point through the window, a little sitting room in there. Maybe that we can all put our heads together for a bit, if that's okay.
She kind of considers for a moment and then looks at Haro. All my baggage is just being in Infernal she'll say, all my baggage is just being laid there. Any objections to this?
He kind of like is a little puffed up, kind of looks at you and says,
I mentioned last night, I don't much trust them. But that doesn't mean they aren't to be trusted. They've been good to you.
You're not wrong there. Well, it's like the second to last thing I wanted to know and to see, but it's not the last thing I wanted to know and to see, so fine. He says that and she's like switches to common. We've no objections. We can gather everyone up and show everyone my heart, but not my heart. Someone will be willing to cut me open and how that would. That's a thought for another time.
you know, if they say, open your heart, sick guitar riff plays, Sonic music.
No, I don't know what they say.
She kind of like hooks the cage and like throws it over
Are you
like
kidding
a
me?
girl.
You're basically like humanized Shadow the Hedgehog. Look at you.
What the fuck is a Shadow the Hedgehog? Don't drag me into this.
I'm ignoring you. Throws it over her shoulder like a posh woman with a shopping bag. And then like motions with her head to Haro and she's like, all right, come on, you glorified woodpecker.
Wop.
I'll go find some of them and you go find the others of them. I don't know. They're scattered about.
And that all happens.
And that all happens. And we all convene and we scream.
Where is our last?
Out in the yard playing ball with dog.
I see. There we go. Ba-ba-ba.
Let this poor bird sit. Thank you. Bet you're wondering why I've gathered you all here today.
I thought we were doing our screaming convening, so
We do this
Exactly.
daily.
We're all right, everyone. 3, 2.
Ah.
Sarah.
It won't pick up.
There's
Ah.
the beginning of it.
I'm awake.
Okay.
I'm awake.
Please don't perish.
I don't know why
What
I have a
happened?
cough all of a sudden.
The screaming competition begins.
Oh no, we're doing our daily cathartic scream.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I definitely didn't fall asleep.
Do you need to go to sleep?
I
I was pretty close to wrapping up our session, so we can end it here if you need.
Maybe, yeah.
That's all right.
I bet you're all wondering why I gathered you here today. To be continued.
Credits roll.
Find
Yeah.
out next week. Or now it's 2 weeks. No.
It is now
Dragon
2
Ball
weeks.
Seinfeld thing?
Kai. Why was Kai the one that came into my head?
Dragon Ball
So,
Z
yeah, no, we should have
Kai.
Liz here too if we're gonna do a discussion and stuff.
The enemy is Goku's brother. Will Goku make it out of this one all right? Find out next time on Goku Dies.
It's okay. He has the Dragon Balls.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be back.
And he can come back and beat up Vegetal. But yeah, we'll call it there then, so that people can get an adequate amount of sleep and not be giant EP. Thank you guys for playing, and yeah, as it was, I'm sure you're wondering why I've called you all here. Dun dun. To be continued.
Artist says it.
Haro says it.
This is the end credit scene.
Yeah.
I'm looking to find a group of people,
Mhm.
very specialized individuals.
This is our Marvel stinger.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Introducing fucking what's your Marvel superhero name for your character? Go.
The repressed trauma.
Oh.
That's it's not very
I'm
punchy,
kidding.
but I'll
I'm
take it.
kidding.
The wonderful wisdom ball.
Wonderful wisdom ball.
Wonderful wisdom ball.
Mm-hmm.
The silver fencer.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Week.
Shark Week.
Let's be honest, Arla is a woman who saw an owlbear and named it Fluffy. She goes by Arla.
Yeah, Arla goes by Arla. Absolutely.
The
Oh, I love it. The Arla.
No, it's not even
It's
a
just-
title. It's just her
It's
legal
just
name.
Arla. Every other superhero says the Arla.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, no, it's just Arla.
No,
And they're
no,
like,
it's
okay,
not,
the
it's not a
Arla.
title. It's literally just my name.
It's just
Okay,
Arla.
the Arla.
The quaking quill.
I like it.
All right. That is where we will end. Thank you guys so much for coming along, and thank everyone for watching. Round of applause for watching. You did it. You made it all the way through. Does anyone have anything to shout out before we leave?
That
wasn't.
shout it out.
Shout out to the Snurch.
Shout out to
Of
the Snurch,
course.
everyone. Go
Snail Church.
to Snurch, Snail Church.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Get your cats and dogs spayed and neutered. This is
Adopt,
Price-
don't
this is-
shop.
This has been The Price is Right.
Yes! Kill!